One, look at you. You're not supposed to have a perfect wife. Two,
I know exactly.
there is nothing cool about you. She wouldn't have a perfect wife. Three, she is in fact pretty awesome. Totally respect where you're coming from. Dude, you're in a fucking coma.
Well, it's me again, and I know just what you're thinking. I never call you when I'm sober, but I'm drunk again, and I'm lonely, so honey, won't you please?
Well, welcome to another episode of Whiskey, Weights, and Whey. Tonight, I have a good friend of mine. I say good friend. He probably going to tell me to F off later at some point in the show. But Mr. Matt Powell, he is drinking on, what is that again?
Balvenie, one of my favorite scotches for sure.
Balvenie. Well, I'm going to be drinking on some Macallan 12-year, thanks to Eric Pham, the young man who kicked your ass at World's Strongest Unknown.
Wow, okay. All right. We already know what kind of
we're just going to start right off into it.
Start. All right. That's cool. As long as I know where we're going, that's fine.
No, for those watching who don't know you, introduce yourself.
Yeah. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Powell, longtime strongman, longtime average strongman for sure. I've been doing a sport for a long, long time. I've been fortunate to go compete some really cool shows and thankfully do pretty well at a few of them. Also run Georgia's Strongest Man. Also the Strongman Corp representative for the state of Georgia. And then I own my own business, Body Evolution Gym in Columbus, Georgia, with some amazing athletes and people there. Definitely lucky to have that. And then my actual full-time job is I am a strength and conditioning coach for the 3rd Ranger Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, where I was just recently inducted into the Ranger Hall of Fame as an honorary Ranger.
No, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was last week. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow makes a week.
That's awesome, man. Happy for you. Cheers.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I will happily drink to that, and the boys somewhere will drink with me.
Oh, yeah. So that means you've got a military background, I'm assuming.
So no, that's the crazy part about it. So I actually grew up, my dad was a West Point guy. I grew up all around the United States, lived at West Point twice, 8 years total. My dad taught the Department of Military Intelligence and Behavioral Science and Leadership. Excuse me. And then throughout my childhood, like I said, I think I lived 12 states, 10 states, something like that. And then coaching, I started coaching strength and conditioning, started at Temple University where I played football, and then the University of Connecticut where I was a graduate assistant. I got to work with Coach Calhoun and Coach Ariema for the basketball teams. Some girl named Maya Moore, some of you Georgia people might remember her. She was okay. And then got to work with the football team a little bit. From there, went to the Chicago Bears for a summer, and then the Cleveland Browns for a short period of time, and then a whole bunch of colleges, and then finally got to come on over here and work for 3rd Ranger Battalion. So no military background, but an opportunity to give back, and been here for 15 years, got to deploy with the boys. It's been an awesome opportunity for sure.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
You got to deploy?
I did. Yeah, it was a great time for sure. It's fun.
Well, that's interesting. We'll definitely talk more about that. You said a lot just then. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. You said you played college football at Temple?
Yeah, I did. I was the world's smallest linebacker and the world's slowest safety. 2 world records I still hold near and dear to my heart right here. DJ could play defensive end and it looked like a monster, and I can just look like that nerdy white guy who brings up the team GPA, and we both got our schools paid for eventually. I walked on and earned a scholarship, so can't complain too much.
Did you get to play?
I did, yeah. I played a lot of special teams, and then my senior year, I was finally in the top 2 rotation, and then during camp, I went to go make a tackle. My elbow went this way, and my arm went that way, and I ended up with a pretty bad elbow injury. I fought through it, played the rest of the year, but I was pretty ineffective at that point with a brace from literally the bottom of my delt all the way to the middle of my forearm. So did the best I could, realized that obviously there was no future for me in football, so I went to grad school, University of Connecticut after that.
Well, we talk a lot about mental toughness and overcoming hardships and how to help other people do the same. Now, was that the first big blow to your athletic career? Was that elbow injury?
So
did you have anything prior to that?
Yeah, the only thing before that really stands out to me, I was a junior in high school. I was starting to get a little bit of looks from like lower level D3, D2 schools. There's a ton of them up in New England where I was playing high school football up in Connecticut. That's where my dad settled down after his military career with my mom. And I blew my shoulder. I was making a tackle and it sublux and tore all labrum and some other crap back there. And so that's actually what taught me I wanted to be a physical therapist. So I went to therapy. I thought, this is awesome, man. You get to work out all day. You get to do, all the
Mhm.
dumb stuff that people still have stereotypes about. So at that time, that's kind of what I realized what I wanted to do is I wanted to do that, to help athletes. And I love being, involved with sports and athletes and everybody else. And then I realized as I move forward, oh shit, you don't have to work just with the hurt people. You can work with the healthy people. Yeah, sign me up. I'd rather do that for sure.
That's right.
I don't have to wear stupid khakis and have like, yeah, no, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Shorts all freaking day, baby. So that's when I really learned that I wanted to be a strength coach or some sort of variation of that, right? When you're young, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a personal trainer. No, the hell you're not. And just start slowly working your way through. Although anybody listening, don't be a strength coach. There's so many better careers than that for sure.
That's what I was about to say with my personal trainer because that was my goal in life was to become a personal trainer, own my own gym. I've achieved those goals,
I was about to say, congratulations.
but but
Cheers to that, brother.
well, kinda because I have to fund my job as a personal trainer and gym owner with my day job because that gym doesn't pay the bills. So it is I love the job. I wouldn't give it up if I could help it. You know, if I have to give it up, it's because we obviously just can't do it. But from a passion standpoint, I love helping people. I love seeing athletes grow. My biggest thing is sometimes somebody will ask me, "Well, how do you feel about somebody outlifting you?" I'm like, if I help contribute to it, I love it. If I
For sure.
didn't, then I am very envious and don't like the guy.
Yeah. The number of times I've taken on a heavyweight and I'll like kick his ass and everything, and then 6 months to a year later, all of a sudden he's either caught up to me or very well surpassed me, obviously, with an extra 100 pounds of body weight and being bigger and stronger and all that stuff. I'm happy for him. They start talking shit. They're like, I'm stronger than you, old man. I'm like, cool, bro. It was literally the goal the whole time. So joke's
That's
on
right.
you.
That's
I'm
right.
happy. Yeah. So it's
If your
fun.
trainer's not happy that you've passed him, then he's not probably a good trainer or
No,
coach.
probably not. You know what? That's one of the topics I was actually hoping we would talk about tonight. The number of freaking selfish coaches out there, brother. Man, the ones who toot their own horns when things go well, but then when their athletes fail or do poorly, or like clearly it's a lack of coaching in some aspects, and they're still like, nah, that's the athlete's fault. I gave them a piece of paper or an Excel file or whatever. They should have just followed it. They wouldn't. No, man, that's not how that works. But like, so going back to your original question, like, was that one of my first hardships? I think coming away from that injury and being able to help because so when I was there, we had really poor freaking records, right? Like we sucked. We had a lot of losses, not a lot of wins. Um, my senior year, we brought in this guy named Al Golden. He went on to have an amazing coaching career. He's still coaching now. He's in the NFL, coaching Notre Dame as a coordinator, coaching Miami as the head coach. Like just an amazing coach,
Oh wow.
somebody who really brings everything up. And we also brought in a guy named Ryan Day, who you might have heard of, right? Ohio State's head coach. He was our wide
Yeah.
receiver. And then Matt Rule, the Nebraska head coach, was actually our D line coach. So we had a stacked freaking coaching staff. And I learned so much my last year about how to like push on people's buttons and learn things and be on the psychology side of it. Not only that, but also like how to actually run a program and be like the CEO while also being the coach. Learn from some great strength coaches like Bruce Seidman and Tony Decker and some guys like that. So having that ability to work with them and see them was a major uh, pivot point for me to learn, like, hey, this is what bad coaching looks like. I've seen bad coaching, and we had some coaches on our staff previous to them that were less than ideal for sure. Some of them were amazing. Like some of the coaches from the previous staffs were absolutely awesome. They were just stuck with some bad situations, and then seeing this young, fresh talent come in and how well they did. Obviously, they went on to amazing careers. Like it just really opened my eyes and really showed me the respect you need to have for the coaching profession and what you need to do to carry yourself there. Which brings me back to that second point. The number of selfish coaches in like the strength sports is just absurd. Like everybody's like, "Oh, look at me! I'm a great freaking strength coach." First of all, you have no background, you have no education, you have no information, you have nothing. But you've won 2 contests or 3 contests, and all of a sudden you're a coach. Shut up. Go learn something. Go learn from somebody, please, and then come back. And also, stop bragging about you and your people, and just push your athletes to the best of your ability. Give them every opportunity to win, and just move forward the best.
Yeah, and I mean, I tell my athletes when I bring them on, especially strongman athletes, because I don't consider myself a strongman coach. I feel like I can help you get into the sport. I'm 100% like a coach for beginners. And I tell my guys, at some point, you're going to move on to a coach that's got way more experience in strongman coaching. I can make you strong, and then I can give you techniques on the events from a fundamental standpoint. But I said, if you want to progress to like the next level, I'm going to probably have to hand you off to somebody, which I am never upset if I lose a client to another coach. if that coach is a good coach.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah,
they go to somebody that I'm like, I can no, stop
yeah,
it, go away.
for sure. There are definitely some times, and that's definitely something I've like learned about. You know, uh, taking your ego out of it. Even at that point, like, even as a good coach, somebody who wants to see people succeed, like it's tough sometimes, man. Like grown adults are gonna make grown adult decisions, whether they're right or wrong, and they're gonna move on sometimes and move past and go to freaking I wouldn't say greener pastures, but different pastures, right? And
Mhm.
just learning to be okay with that, and even the mental side of that, like there is an impact there for sure, especially with somebody you've really developed and brought from nothing up to something, right? Like you have kind of an investment in that person. You kind of have a relationship with that person. And it can be challenging for sure. And even as an old man, like it's hard to kind of walk through that sometimes for sure. You know what I mean? Like I think some people when I was younger, right, I look at older people, like specifically in their like late 30s, early 40s, like they got all their shit figured out. They own a house. You know what I mean? Like everything's freaking perfect. They probably have all their emotions in check. They're probably like mentally stable. And then I get here and I'm like, oh fuck, none of that is true, and I am fucked. Where's the adult? Is there an adult here? I'm the adult.
Uh, Later on when we get into the conspiracy theory, remind me of what you just said because my conspiracy theory that I've been harping on lately really plays into the fact that I feel like I'm still 23 years old. I'm 36, but I feel like I'm 23.
It is the year 2009. That's the latest, and I am
13 for
definitely
me. Yeah.
yeah, whatever year that is for you, and I am definitely freaking, like, 25, and I am just
Mm.
barely a man, and I have no money.
I like I'm like over
Yeah,
here working 4 jobs and taking care of 2 kids and a wife, and I'm like, I I should not be responsible for this many
no,
people's lives.
yeah, nobody should let me do this. This is retarded. Like, why would you let me
That's
do this?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody please take this away from me. This is not how this freaking is supposed to go, bro. This is not my Matrix. I want the real Matrix. Give me the simulation, bro.
Oh, well, after you got hurt, let's go back to that. After you got
Yeah,
hurt at Temple, was that the end of the career, right? Was that your last season playing, or did you try to do another year after that? Is that
yeah,
you
so
said it was your
once
junior year, right?
So I was a redshirt junior, so I had one more year of eligibility at that point. But again, I had walked on and earned my scholarship. The new coaching staff was bringing in some really, really good talent. They went on to win a lot more games the next 6, 7 years, however long Al was there before he moved on to Miami. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall, right? And honestly, I had graduated in 4 years, which I was super proud of. I got accepted to UConn, which at the time was the #1 grad school for like strength and conditioning, kinesiology, all that stuff. Um, so I did talk to them briefly, like, hey, what if I walked on here, or like came over here and played here for one more year? And then I realized with the course load there, it just wasn't going to happen. I was fortunate to work under some amazing professors and do some real research, like actual research, which was super cool. I also got to be a graduate assistant for my first year with the anatomy and department, which was super funny because I had never had a cadaver lab before. So I'm in there cutting up a cat, but I like at
Oh
Temple,
god.
we just had the diagrams and the pieces and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just me cutting up Fluffy in the front room, just
Oh no.
ripping through, having a great time. And then we got to visit the
Is that
zoo.
why you hate cats now?
I mean, it's definitely part of it. It's definitely because you've seen the world's strongest and young. I was definitely like, nah, get out of here.
Let's throw some cats instead of bad.
Let's
Yeah.
throw some cats, man. Let's just who cares? It's fine. But then going to like the human cadaver lab, like it really showed me like, I mean, football is cool, man. And like there are days that I miss it, but with the number of TBIs and the number of like head injuries and everything else, and like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's things you don't even think about. So like all of a sudden you get hit in the head another time, like after football, and you real remember like all the times that like you couldn't even
The
remember.
ringing. Yeah.
And yeah, you couldn't. You have tinnitus all of a sudden, or you can't remember things. And like, I still have light sensitivity to this day. People are like, "Why do you have sunglasses?" And like, because my head hurts if I don't wear them. Like, that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah. I hear like I get that ringing, the tinnitus, and all out of nowhere. I'll just sit in a room and everything just a high pitch out of nowhere, and I'm like,
for sure.
yeah, that's probably some head injuries from a long
For
time
sure.
ago.
No question
Yeah.
about it. And then so I would fight a little bit, like I did some jujitsu and I did some boxing and stuff like that. So obviously not helping the case at all. And that
Well,
obviously
that's what I was about to ask. What did you do when you said, "All right, I'm done with football"? Did you take time off from sports, or did you find another avenue? Because most athletes or the people who really just have that drive to compete, it's hard for them to just step away and not do anything.
yeah, that was hard because going into grad school, there was almost no time. I did occasionally, so there was like a local strongman show, and it was a team strongman show, which was kind of cool. You had to have 2 females and 4 males, and the 4 males had to line up for the weight classes. I think it was like USS weight classes, so it was like Forgive me for messing this up probably, but 275, 220,
Mm.
190, 198, somewhere in that
Yeah, 198.
90
Yeah.
kilo class ballpark, and then an 80 kilo class. And then the two women just had to be like a heavyweight woman and then a lightweight woman. I think they gave them like a under 180 and over 180 basically. Um,
Was
so
this
that
the
was
state
super cool.
strongest?
Huh?
Was that the state strongest?
No, because that would be Matt Mills, and he would have run an amazing show, which he always does. This is just some random like one off, some other college. Like one of the guys who came into the grad school program. You know where it was actually? It was at I take it back. Local's a relative term. It was in Denison University in Ohio, and two of the guys who were in the grad program knew the coach there, and they're putting on like a huge benefits. We had like a free place to stay, and raised a bunch of money for a young man who had passed away in his memory, who was on the college
Mm.
football team. So it was an awesome opportunity to learn about strongman for the first time and go compete and do all that, which was awesome. But there was no time, man. Like I was lucky if I was training 3 days a week at that point. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
between grad school plus teaching classes, plus then I started working for the athletic department and being there coaching them. Like I had three of my own teams plus helping with other teams. There was no way in hell I was going to be able to actually like do anything. Tried rugby for a little while, did Gaelic freaking football for a little while, tried hurling for a very short period of time. I mean, I was like all over the place, man. I was like, man, I can do whatever I want. And then I would try to be like, I don't want to do that again. And they're just kind of move on. But they're all awesome experiences. And it gave me a lot of respect for some different sports I'd never really seen before. But honestly, I always kept thinking about strongman and how I could get back to it. But
Was
I don't know.
that your first experience with strongman? That
It
team
it
comp?
was. Yeah, yeah. Other than, like, the stupid crap, like, some high school coach making you flip a tire or let's do a
What?
farmer's carry, dumb stuff like that.
So, what year? Not to date you, but what year was it that you did that
Brother,
team, or
let
was you
me
involved
dust
in
off
that team?
this, 10 pounds of dust real quick. I think it was still in the Meso
1990.
yeah, I think it was still in the Mesozoic stage. Uh, Saber-tooth tigers had just gone extinct. Right around right around 2009, 2010, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was, like, as I was in my early to mid-20s. But yeah, didn't really have a lot of time to train. And then when I moved to the NFL, dude, you're there 12 to 14 hours a day. There's no way in hell. Like you're training 3, 4 days a week, but it's like in between groups or it's at like 6 p.m. at night after you've already coached all day. If you're trying to meet, a young lady to date at that point, ain't no way. You know what I mean? Like you got to make decisions at that point. Obviously, I went on
Yeah.
to do well for that, but not at that time. So I didn't really get back to strongman until I got back to working with Ranger because like life balance finally happened. I could work from 6:30 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then go train for 2 hours and be perfectly fine. And I had no kids at the time. So I would actually drive to Carrollton, Georgia from Columbus, which is about hour and a half ballpark up towards Atlanta. And I would go train with Scott Helms, who was the longtime Georgia State chair. He was my coach for the longest time. He introduced me to everything, taught me everything. I mean, we had everybody from world's strongest man competitors like Wesley Claiborne, all the way down to weak little bitches like me and Dan Guru. So it was a great time.
Well, I wouldn't say weak little bitches because I mean, to
Weak
be
little-
fair, you've top 10 at UOSG, correct?
Yeah, so I did do that. And then I've been top 10 at PSL twice, and then fourth at Arnold, and then fourth at Nationals and a bunch of other pro-am shows. Got to go to Norway. Yeah, it's been a good career for sure, but it's been frustrating for sure. A lot of ups and downs.
Well, if we ever get the world's strongest fourth place finisher merch off the ground, you're going to be the first sponsored athlete. We'll
I
do
hope.
we'll do some commission rates for you. So
As long as like we each get like a cool name, like I'll be like Quattro or like
yeah, that's right.
some quarters.
What was it? Ocho Cinco. So Quattro.
Quattro. Pero Quattro.
Well, I bet you've got some good stories since you have been. I mean, obviously, you've been in the strongman sport for a while now. You've been at every level of strongman. You've worked with NFL athletes. So give me some funny stories. Just let's start with the NFL because I can imagine you've dealt with some egos and you've also dealt with probably some fun characters.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. This is one of my favorites. Patrick Tillman, they called him Peanut. He was a cornerback for the Chicago Bears. Very, very good defensive player. I think he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award as well. So a very good human being. Obviously, like
Mhm.
just a classy dude, top notch. So we were in camp, and for the Chicago Bears, they used to. I'm not sure where they go anymore. But we went down to a small town in Illinois called Bourbonnais, Illinois, way down there in the middle of nowhere. cornfields and the Kankakee River. That's all you see for hundreds of miles, right? So like they're trying to take these guys and put them away from Chicago, which is a great decision for sure. There was one bar, and that's where everybody would go after practice and like, "What are you doing tonight?" "The fuck do you mean? What am I doing? I'm going to the bar. Where else am I going to go?" Uh, so I am just finishing a workout. We have like a big tent gym in the middle of the parking lot with some fans blowing in it. And like that's our workout. Obviously, you're only working out 3, maybe 4 days a week, but it's like super quick. Like offense, get in, get out, go to practice. Defense, get in after practice, just rolling, right? Classic college camp or classic NFL camp. Excuse me. So I was doing box jumps and I had those stupid stackable ones, like the soft foam ones. And I remember feeling really good about myself because I'd hit one probably about 48 inches, right? Feeling like I am a freaking college football stud. I had just finished playing college ball. I just started grad school. It was within like a year. And I remember I stacked the one on top of that. So now you're talking like 64-ish inches, maybe 72-ish inches, right? So about 6 feet, right? Legitimately, like, so I'm 5'11" or 6 foot, whatever, somewhere around that height. Like I stacked the box up and I'm looking below the edge of the box. Tillman walks in like an asshole. He's, "Oh, did you do some box jumps?" I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And I didn't brag. I wasn't a dick. I wasn't. He goes, "All right, check this." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Hmm." And then all of a sudden, Pat's freaking heels are above my head, and he is standing in the box. And I just looked up, nodded my head a couple times, looked up one more time just to make sure I saw what I saw. And then I just literally turned around and walked away. And he has this big shit eating grin on his face. And it's just like, yeah, young buck,
That's gotta man, just humbled you quick, didn't he?
for sure. For sure. That was a
Yeah,
good
you see
one.
all these videos of these guys jumping out of the pool, 30 something inches out of the pool.
I don't think anyone understands until you were around that level of athlete, like on a consistent, not like just some random, like your buddy made it to the camp. Like
Mm.
you have to be around the entire team or a large group of the dudes for like a decent amount of time, a few months, a year, something like that, to understand just how freaky like some of these dudes really, really are. We had a defensive lineman um, when I was in Cleveland. He had just got signed to like a 3-year deal. I went down to the basketball courts because we obviously go play pickup once in a while. This is back before the CBA got crazy. And of course, he didn't tell anybody. So like I felt super lucky didn't get an invite, right? Because if coaches saw that, they would freak the hell out. So he stands 1 foot in front of the basket. And this man weighs 330 pounds. I just weighed him the day before for like check-ins. And he goes, "Hey, check this out." I'm just talking to everybody. And he jumps up, does a 360 in the air at 330 pounds and dunks it like a freaking just two-handed jam.
Jeez.
I just stood there, like, I'm just on the sideline just like this, just, "Okay. Well, I don't know what to
Like,
do.
yeah,
I'm just gonna."
I train him. I'm his strength and conditioning coach.
See, that's what coaches do. They're like, "No, I train." No, the fuck you don't. His
That's
mom and
right.
dad created that and, like, or,
Yeah.
some sort of divine entity touched that and was like,
Oh, yes.
"You're welcome." Like, that is not something you coach. Like, shut the heck up. You did nothing for that.
I
Um
always joke and say, I don't coach, athletes to become great. I find great athletes and coach them.
That is a whole career path that a lot of people in our field definitely take advantage of for sure.
Yes, yes, definitely. Well, most of our audience is strongman fans, so let's talk a little bit about that. You've done shows like we talked about. You said OSG, PSL, America's Strongest. Um, what's been probably the most rewarding experience show wise? Like, what show have you gone to and you're like, this is the elite?
Yeah, I think the first clash I went to back when it was still the group stage, and then you would go to the finals if you were lucky, right? They took the 5 groups, and then top 2 from every group made it up to the finals the next day for 10 guys. By far my favorite. One, the pace of the competition. It got to the point where on the finals, you could either change your shoes or go take a piss, but you could not do both. Like there just was simply not enough time. And the warm up
Wow.
time was literally in the beginning, right before we started the live airing, you were allowed to go touch everything. So we had circus dumbbell, sandbag to shoulder. What else do we have? Some sort of deadlift medley with the, oh, that was the year. I don't know if you remember. We did the Zerkers deadlift into the sumo deadlift,
Mhm.
into the barbell deadlift. Super nuts, right? So like, you had no time to warm up any of those, and of course you remember those shows, and they still are for Pro Strongman. Like they're heavy, so we had no time to warm up. But the camaraderie and the level of talent. I mean, you had like 6 or 7 dudes who were either America's Strongest Man, World's Strongest Man, all the best 105s. A lot of those guys have moved up to heavyweights and been doing very well. But guys like Canby, Clayton. I mean, all those guys came up. All the international dudes. Dan Hughes was there. Like everybody was there just chopping it up. And to make it to the finals that year and be able to go against the best of the best is one of my favorite experiences because everyone was legitimately rooting for the other dude. And like everybody was a good guy. And the 105s have a really good, for the most part, have a really good brotherhood of like taking care of each other and actually like wanting to see each other do well and like taking care of each other, which is something we really pride ourselves on. So for me, that was one of my favorite shows. OSG is always great. I mean, obviously it's a fun show. The graphics and everything that they run for that, like the live stream, which I'm sure you can appreciate as somebody who does that as well. Like it's top notch. Like hats off to ADL. They do an amazing job of making it perfect. Seeing your face on the big screen is like the Heat winner and having like a cool little picture. You wear a cute little yellow T-shirt when you win your event. Like it's just a really well run show and a shit ton of fun. And then, I mean, the Strongman Court big shows are always fun. America's Strongest Man, having that small, intimate, like 10, 15, 20 of y'all, that's also a lot of fun, man. Just some great dudes coming together to lift some heavy ass crap and really enjoy each other and get after it for sure. So, of those, which one's my favorite? Definitely that Clash experience is probably my favorite, like one show. I think America's Strongest Man and PSL are my two favorite shows every year that I look forward to. And then OSG is just a cool, like, spectacle, if you will, because it's just going to be freaking nuts. There's going to be some crazy performances that are a lot of fun to watch for sure.
Now, are you doing any shows coming up? Like, what's your next competition?
Yeah, so they just dropped America's Strongest Man. It's going to be at the Olympia, so I'll be going to that hopefully. And then OSG, I've got my invite for the 105s again this year, so hopefully I'll go back to that as well.
Nice. And you're not doing Masters, right?
I don't know. I am old and broken, so I'll probably do Open for sure. So we'll see.
You're going to do Open as long as you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal for sure. We'll just see how it goes, man. Last year was crazy with 4 weeks between ASM and OSG, like two heavy shows back to back. And I had done PSL before that, and that was a crazy show too. I mean, last year was nuts for that as well, competition wise. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man.
Well, I'm a little hurt that you didn't include World's Strongest Unknown in that grouping because you have done one of my shows.
First of all, I want to make sure I'm very clear about this. That was actually a great day. Anybody who has an opportunity to be on that show is a lot of fun. Like, other than the fact that you completely like are biased to the lighter athletes, and I'm by no means a big boy, but I'm by no means a skinny boy either. I think Eric literally walked in, and this is the weird part about it. You shook his hand and handed him the first place trophy before the episode started. That was the only.
Don't be spreading those rumors.
I've never seen, as a fellow promoter, I've never seen somebody put it on his neck as he walked into the building before he even warmed up. Like
Here's how I know you lie, because I ain't got nothing to give him. I have no awards or anything.
It was a World's Strongest Unknown hat. And then it was like some knee sleeves. I think he got some energy drinks. I'm just saying, Joe. It was legit. You can ask all the big boys, right? Trey will tell you, freaking
Trey would have podiumed. To be fair, Trey would have podiumed, I think, if he had not hurt his back in episode 3.
All right. How did he hurt his back? I never saw the end of that episode, and I apologize.
So he hit a heck of a deadlift.
Yeah, it was like 808 or something.
797, I think is what it was. Sorry. And it was and then we went to the log press, and he had to do I think 330 for reps. And if he'd gotten 6, I think he'd got 4th in that event. And I mean, Trey's known to be able to like rep out 315, 330. And it was the second rep went smooth. The third rep, he kind of stuttered. And when it came back down, it jarred him, and it just threw his whole back off. He couldn't bend over to pick up anything, but he did not zero a single event. I was proud of him.
That's
but
awesome.
At the same time, I wanted to cuss him out because he wouldn't sit down. But no, your episode, you can't be throwing me out like that, because I think there was a 4-way tie going into event 4 or event 3 or something like that.
Okay, the keg over max height was the dumbest event I've ever seen in my entire.
That was dumb. I will say that. I agree.
I would have rather done a tie at that point.
Man, I had to get so creative with the point system on that one to make it fair.
Yeah, that was Eric's little ass was like, "Ain't no way, homie!" Like,
that was his worst event too. So I mean,
it had to be.
He zeroed it. I mean, he zeroed it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a strong little dude. I'm not making fun of him. Like, he's just not a very tall guy. Diminutive at best. You know what I mean? Like, just saying.
No, it was. It's been interesting. We did change the way we did the weights for episode 3. We actually took everybody's body weight and body fat, and then scaled everybody's body weight, or scaled their competitive weight down to fit more of an even body fat percentage. So like Trey weighed in at, I think, 289 or 290. He competed at 275.
Okay.
All the 220 guys competed at 220, and like Jen competed down a little bit to match up with Meg.
Sure.
So,
I mean, Meg is lean as hell, so that's a
Oh,
great
yeah.
start for sure. And then Jen's
Hey.
obviously an elite level.
Wow.
and
athlete.
Meg didn't win it. So she was the smallest one, and she didn't win it.
Wow. Oh, so now you're sexist. So you don't like women.
You gonna get me shut down? Listen, I'm streaming your show this weekend. You can't get me kicked off the air before we do that.
You are a fair and impartial person.
Yeah. Come do Limit Breaker.
Hey,
Come do that one.
I will MC the fuck out of Limit Breaker.
No, I want you to compete in it.
Brother, you don't need my elbow. You got people, you got strong people. You got like Gabby coming out. You got all sorts of amazing people. You don't need that dumb.
You know what though? I'm having trouble. This past year we had trouble getting people. So hopefully next year we're gonna start promoting it here in the next month or so. Hopefully we get it.
I'm gonna give you some flowers real quick. I'm super happy for you that you're bringing stuff back, and next year's gonna be a better year for sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we ain't here to talk about me. We're here to talk
Hey,
about
first of all, I deflect everything that comes at me, so you gotta get used to
I
that.
know. But we do have your show coming up this weekend. By the time, I don't think this is going to air publicly. It might come out as a members only video before your competition.
Sure.
But you've got a lot invested in Georgia Strongest Man because you took that over from Scott Helm, right?
So it went from Scott to Mark Bevins, who you've met a bunch of times, and Todd Growlnick up there, who owns Growlers, fantastic gym. So they kind of co-ran it, and then Mark Phillips from Madhouse would help out with equipment and stuff as well. So I've had a great support system. All three of those guys every year, hey Matt, what do you need? How can we help? Do you need a judge? Can I sponsor? Blah, 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 blah. So they've been absolutely fantastic in pushing the sport forward for sure.
How long have you been running Georgia's?
Shoot. This is year number 5, 4 or 5. 5. We'll call it 5.
I was gonna say because we've live streamed 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, because you came out to live stream for the first time, not a scofflaw. I think you guys came out to the indoor one for the 105K Pro-Am, right?
No, we did that one, but we did Scofflaw first. So we've live streamed 4 of your shows.
Oh,
We've
shoot.
done 2 of your Georgias and 2 of your
Scott Helms.
Scott Helms.
That's regionals this past year. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, that's nuts. Holy crap. Yeah, I went to go look at, obviously as a fellow promoter, you understand, like taking the pictures and trying to do like little hype things like, hey, don't forget, we're 5 days out and all that crap, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there looking through the pictures and I was like, God dang, that was like 5 years ago. Holy crap. Like I found a picture of the 105s, and then I found a picture of Damien, and I was like, that was, God, oh shit, I'm getting old, brother. Getting old.
Oh yeah.
Sucks.
You mentioned several names there out of Georgia. You got a pretty strong community in strongman in Georgia. I know you've got Madhouse. You said Growlers.
Growlers,
Body Evolution. What other strongman gyms in the area that you work with?
Yeah, so those are the 3 that really like kind of I typically work with. There's some awesome ones down. Sanctum of Strength is another great show that's really growing down there. Lance and the boys are doing a great job there in Southwest Georgia. They're doing a really good job building stuff up. They've run a really good show the past 2 years. I've sent a bunch of athletes down to them. They've done a really good job. The Bernhardt's up there, also close to Growlers, like kind of Canton area, like Kennesaw, Canton. I'm trying to think of where the Alpharetta area. I think they're actually in Kennesaw itself, but in that whole kind of region, they're one of the bigger ones as well. They typically cater a little more towards novice athletes, but great competitions that run their own shows. They do a great job of bringing a lot of introductory people into strongman, which is exactly what
That's
he's
awesome.
Yeah. So shout out to them for sure. But yeah, those are the big ones. I would say down south would be the Sanctum boys with Lance and them. Up north, Growlers, kind of in that middle Atlanta area, would definitely be Madhouse. He's got some studs up there for sure. But I mean, if you look at the history, like your John Furrs, who's a pro, your Mark Bevinses, who's won nationals like 6 or 7 times, your Wesley Claiborne's, Tim, Kielhofer. I mean, guys who've set national records in different events and done an amazing job. I've all been up in that kind of Growlers North area. And then when I started building up in Columbus and bringing people in and making Body Evo a strongman gym and running Georgia Strongman down here, then it started to grow. We got some amazing females who started coming in, obviously, who've gone on to become pros. And Georgia, I think when I got here, had like 1 pro strongman, maybe 2. And now it's got, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that. So and certainly not because of me, but just because they've had more opportunities and more introduction to the sport. So it's been super good to
There's a
see.
lot of correlation with you. So, I mean,
Yeah, I would never take that freaking compliment. For sure. I'm gonna deflect the hell out of that. But I will say, like, just spreading the word and being able to like go out there and show people. Like, there have been people I reach out to that I'm like, hey, you might be pretty good at this. Come give it a shot. And they'll come by BE and they'll get a lift in. They're like, yeah, I really like this. Even that Eastern Alabama, like we get some folks from like Opelika, Auburn, which is a huge growing population for sure. They'll come out and train with
mhm,
us. Obviously, you guys come out once in a while. Even the Smiths, Mason and Michael will come down from like
mhm.
the Madhouse area just to train with us. So growing that population. AJ Rock just moved back down to Georgia. Aleela's right there on the border in Tennessee on Chattanooga side. I mean, again, there's another 5 or 6 pros or like elite level top 10 at the Arnold, top 10 at OSG type athletes right there within a 2 to 3 hour drive. So the amount of talent has definitely, as you said, increased exponentially for sure.
Well, you mentioned the name several times, and if you know the story, I would like to maybe highlight it a little bit. Wesley Claiborne.
Yeah.
Now, he should be a much bigger name in the sport of strongman, from my understanding.
Yeah.
I've never met the man actually, unfortunately, but I have heard the story several times about his experience with World's Strongest Unknown. Are you familiar with that story?
I am. Yeah. So, Wes won America's Strongest Man, 2020. What year was COVID? 21, right?
2020, yeah.
2020. Sorry. So 2020. So he won America's Strongest Man right before COVID happened or right about when COVID happened. He got an invite to World's Strongest Man. He flew out to wherever the contest was that year. I want to say it was in Africa, still not 100%, does not matter. He
Mhm.
flew out. As soon as he gets off the plane, they take him in, they run a COVID test. The minute they run the COVID test, it comes back as positive. He is then told he must leave and go home. Whoever the next alternate is immediately gets brought in. Um, Wesley comes back to the United States, coming back through customs or whatever airport, has to take another COVID test, negative. Takes another COVID test, negative. Takes another COVID test, negative. So pretty much what happened was he got completely hosed. He kind of expected to like be invited back because he'd earned that invite.
Yeah.
Remember that he had gone to the Rogue Record Breakers year that nobody was in the stands for the Arnold. Gary Pietrowski, who you were there with regionals, he's one of our judges here, coming down from
Mhm.
South Carolina. He won his pro card that year, and he actually went neck and neck with Stoltman, and he had the world record in the stone for I don't know 5-10 minutes before Stoltman went over the top and broke it again. And then Wesley just barely missed the freaking load by like I'm talking about inches. But if you ever look up the rogue record breakers for the stone from that same year at the Arnold, Wesley's in there for just giving hell and just showing the kind of stud that he really was at his peak for sure.
And they've never reached back out to him or offered him another invite or anything?
Nope. Which brings me so their argument was like, yeah, you won America's Strongest Man. He either won it once or twice. I can't remember the number. But they're like,
Yeah.
but you know, you haven't done really well at OSG, or like you need to go do Giants Live, which obviously OSG Giants Live to World's
Yeah.
Strongest Man. But the problem was is like it's so political. And I think he just got frustrated. He met a nice young lady, they ended up getting married. And then obviously the desire and the fight just kind of went down from there, unfortunately.
And I
But
mean, you hate to hear that because I mean, I've seen his Instagram. I've followed him on social media. Like I said, I've never met the guy, but looks to be a highly talented strongman. I mean,
absolutely,
clearly earned his way in there at one point. You would think that due to just a freaking swab,
yeah,
a nose swab that
yeah,
gave him an inaccurate reading, they wouldn't give him another chance. So, I mean, that right there, I would love. I mean, I don't know if I've never been able to get him in touch with him. So if
sure,
maybe you can connect me, I would love
yeah,
to have him on, tell his story from his perspective, because that
yeah,
right there would be a mental toughness kind of thing to talk about.
for sure.
When you get to the highest level and then you get kicked back down.
I would love to hear his side of it. He's never he's the most chill, quiet guy you'll ever talk to. Like he is. See, like one of my favorite stories. My very first George Strongest Man, mid-20s. Me and Bob are competing in the little guy category, and Wesley's over there, and literally in his fold-up chair like this, racked out. They scream his name, no warm up, no nothing. I'm sprinting out, and then hits like the nastiest stone run I've ever seen in my entire life for the 5 stone run, and then just goes back down and sits down
Jeez.
again. I was like, what the?
He got narcolepsy. He just
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was hot that day for sure. Classic Georgia Shore.
oh man,
But it was absolutely. He is, dude. The little like legends about him are just fun to talk about because he's such a good dude and obviously just a hell of a strongman for sure. But his Viper press, I don't know if you found it on his socials, but I mean he Vipered for 40,
yeah,
420,
something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around 200 keys for a Viper. So
So I mean, hey,
he's
if you're watching this episode and you want us to get him on and tell his story, comment down below. Let us know.
yeah,
We'll try to push it to him. You know, share the video with him. Maybe he'll see us and he'll be like, "Hey, I'll talk to it." I don't care if he comes out here if he wants to be really nice about it or if he wants to bash the crap out of anybody. I just want to hear his perspective of how that turn of events affects him.
yeah. I would love to hear that too. Again, Wesley's just a good ass dude, and I would love to hear whatever he has to say.
Yeah. Well,
You know who you need to have on here soon is Nick Stock.
that would be a good one. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I know he's kind of battling some things right now, and I hope he's doing well. I don't want to share too much information if it's not public. I don't.
sure.
If you're
He's been
comfortable and he knows,
yeah, he's been posting about it. He's got some surgeries going on now to remove some cancer. Unfortunately, behind his knee, which is obviously slowing down his lower body progress. Thankfully, Nick is a really good presser and a terrible lower body lifter, so it works out fine for him. Uh,
it's not going to affect him
I
at
told him
all.
if he passes that I get his press. So whenever he wants to gift that to me, it's absolutely fine. He
Man,
had a
he's
good
got
laugh
a hell of a
going
breath.
on, so we're good for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, dark humor is the best humor, right?
The only is there other humor? I don't even know other humor. Man.
There's dad humor, but I mean that's just from my understanding and my perspective of that is dad humor is dark humor that the wife has reeled in.
Just push down slowly. Just yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you make that joke and the wife's like, "Chalk, Matt, stop!" You're like, "Oh, too
Yeah,
far. Let me
yeah,
pull
no
back a
question.
little bit."
So
Yeah,
I don't know if you do this, but I have this problem where I'll be around other people. Like Chelsea will take me to someplace nice, which is a terrible decision. And like I'll be introduced to like her because she works at Columbus State University, right? So like I'll meet like the president or like the athletic director or the mayor or somebody like that. And I'll say something like I'm around the boys, right? Like around the Rangers or around the Strongman crew or whatever. And they're just like, is he kidding? Is he okay? And no, no, he's not. And no, no, he's not. But yeah, it's funny for sure.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
Not so much what I said, but just me in general. Like my wife worked at a boutique personal training gym when we first got out of college,
yeah, yeah.
and I mean, uh, the community. I don't know if you're familiar with Alabama is Mountain Brook, and it's like the nicest and most expensive houses in the area. So you can just imagine the type of people who live there, and a lot of them very nice. If
Sure.
anybody watching, highly doubt they're watching my show because they don't care about it. But we would go to these events that the gym owner would put together for all his really, really rich clients. And it would be at this really nice restaurant that was a staple. And I throw on my normal jeans and a t-shirt or shorts and a t-shirt and walk into all these nice polo button ups, khakis, sweaters around their neck, they're talking about their golf game. And I'm over here like, yeah, I lift heavy things and put it down. And they're like, who brought the help?
Yeah, 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 for sure.
She
Hey, I need
she
to
was told multiple. Oh, go ahead.
no, please, please, please. I was making a dumb joke. You're good.
Oh, well, I was about to say she was told many a times, you don't have to work if you marry one of the guys around here and leave him. Like I was around, they were like, you can marry this guy and be set for life, right? You can find
Wow,
your rich man.
wow. And she chose you. That's a good woman right there. That's why I respect your wife. She's
Oh,
a good
true
woman
love. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
She's a good lady. She's a good lady. Yeah, that's funny, man. How'd you all meet? How did you and the wife meet?
Oh, well, we met like 6 times before we actually met.
Oh,
We
really?
went to the same college, had the same friends,
What school? What
but
school?
never crossed paths. The University of Montevallo.
Okay.
So, I actually busted into her apartment at one point on Halloween with a friend of mine. We were looking for another friend who was dating a girl who lived in that apartment, her roommate. Uh, so we bust in, we're like, "Hey, where's so and so?" His girlfriend was like, "I don't know, he ain't been here all night." We were like, "Well, we were a little tipsy, and I seen her, but I didn't remember, and she saw me, but she didn't remember until I brought up what I was wearing for Halloween that year. She was like, "Did you go to a random apartment and like look for so and so?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was me." She goes, "That was me in the back room that ran off." And I was like, "Oh," it was like the whole, How I Met Your Mother. I saw her
Yeah,
ankle.
yeah, yeah.
and
Dude, that's
and
funny.
then fast forward, we were at the beach, and she came running up with the same group of friends that I was there with, snagged a shot of my drink, ran off, and I sat there and talked to her other roommate for an hour and a half, and then we ran into each other again at a bar, and she's like, "Do you remember me?" I was like, "Ma," she goes, "Don't call me my roommate's name," which was Molly, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." And at
Yeah.
that night, I knew I was gonna marry her. Like after, like I told everybody on the way home, I was like, "That's gonna be the girl I end up with." They're like, "She's here with another guy." I was like, "It doesn't matter. Eventually, it's gonna happen."
Wow. Wow. That is that's your little in cut for this episode right there. I knew she's with another guy.
I did.
Don't matter. That's
I
that
gave her
mental
hell
toughness.
about it.
That's that confidence right there. I like that. I like
I had
confidence.
a feeling. I wasn't
That's
confident. I
awesome.
just had a feeling. That was it.
Dude, that's a meet cute for sure. Can we go back to the fact that you just randomly did some breaking and entering into her apartment? Do we wanna go over that at all?
I didn't. I was just with the guy who did.
Yeah,
But
that's called oh shoot.
accessory. I
Thank
was an
you. Yeah,
accessory.
accessory.
That's
Thank
right.
you. I
I
was
was not.
like you had a huge right there.
Right.
I was an accessory, not I was not the main
Yeah.
person. I was an accessory to the
I'm pretty sure they opened the door. Like it wasn't like we broke the hinges,
okay.
or,
That's what I like.
busted
I
down the
came
door
here with
for it.
like a little mini freaking battering
Oh,
ram and like a hoolie tool and just freaking getting after it. That's
no,
what I
that
was
was back when I was like 180 pounds soaking wet, but I was just because I didn't eat, and all I did was work out and go to work. So I was too broke to eat food. So I was just really little.
dude, what is the worst food you remember eating when you were broke to like have calories or like gain weight or whatever?
It was to just survive. I worked at Target after high school. I weighed 215 pounds when I graduated high school.
Damn.
Uh, I was a defensive lineman. I was the smallest one in the 4A division.
Hell yeah.
And as soon as I graduated, I started working for Target. Had a really rough situation at home. Like parents separated me. My mom was searching for a place to stay. I would take her to work, sleep in the truck, then drive to my work. Yeah, we were living off like 12 grand a month, 12 grand a year.
Yeah.
And I remember, and that's probably why I hate Pizza Hut today. At Target, there was a food avenue that had a Pizza Hut in it. And as a cart attendant, all I could afford was a little $4.99 personal pan pizza
Yeah,
every
yeah,
other day. So I was literally eating a personal pan pizza once every 2 days.
yeah. Damn.
And I dropped from 215 all the way down to 165 over the course of about 2 months because that's all I was eating, one pizza every 2 days, and I
Yeah.
was still working out because I mentally trying to stay strong. And I yeah, I hate Pizza Hut pizza for that reason.
No, I respect the shit out of that, brother. What was the turning point for you and your mom? When did y'all turn it up? Or how did
Oh,
you how did you know that?
that was where I started working 2 jobs, working at the work Target, going to school, and personal training on the side.
Yeah.
And I remember graduating college thinking, "Oh, it's gonna be nice to just have to work 2 jobs instead of having to work 2 jobs and go to school." And now I work 4 jobs. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
The number of times I've accomplished like a life goal is like, man, once I get my RD, I'm gonna freaking pull back on whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you bought a gym, dumbass. It's like, oh, fuck. Okay, well, I'm just gonna, be an RD, run the gym, do some online
Yeah.
coaching, and then also work for 375. Let's throw in some kids, bro. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna be a dad. And then I'm like, but I'm like totally gonna cut back. And I'm like, I haven't cut back yet. I need to figure that out for sure. Yeah.
Well, what about you? What was the one meal that like has scarred you?
So the one that Scott this is not nearly as cool. Obviously, you're way freaking tougher than I am. But I remember my parents didn't help me with any finances for grad school, right? So like, yeah, I had my GA, but obviously, as you know, like grad school is expensive and Connecticut's expensive. There's a lot of rich people up there, not me, but there's a lot around me for sure. Kind of like your sweaters and all that crap, right?
Yeah.
And I remember going to Sam's Club, Costco, one of those brands, and buying as much tuna fish as I could. And I was like, all right, so I got some protein coming in, you know what I mean? Got a little bit of fat, got some like omegas, all that crap, right? So I'm like nerding out, right? I've just gotten into nutrition or whatever. And I was like, all right, I need some more calories. Where's the cheapest like cent per calorie I can possibly get? And I remember seeing these like double Jif peanut butter things. And I remember being like, oh, dude, I'll fucking eat peanut butter, right? And then I was like, what if I just put the peanut butter on the tuna fish? Like that can't be that bad.
Ooh.
I shit you not. I would take a scoop, a big ass scoop of peanut butter. I would mix it in the can, and then I would just take the can to the face as I was driving places. And I would do like 2 or 3 of those a day. And then if I was still low on calories after I did the math for whatever I needed, because I was trying to gain weight, I would do like olive oil because olive oil shots are pretty cheap and I can get some extra like fat and
Yeah.
calories from that. So just olive oil straight to the dome. And then whatever the cheapest ice cream, I would melt that, put in the blender with whatever I could find that didn't taste too bad, and I would drink that as well.
See, you're the type that likes the melts the ice cream to drink it and to get all
For
the calories.
sure. Yeah, I'm not trying to sit there all night like that. That's way too much time and effort. Hell no.
There was a movie, somebody did that to gain weight. They were like leaving it out until it melted and drinking it with a straw.
Oh, absolutely. I wanna say it was, it might have been like Ryan Gosling or one of those pretty boys. He
Was it
did a really good
they
job.
best off you?
I mean, I don't wanna say anything. Me and Ryan, we've been friends ever since. When he was playing cornerback getting smoked, I came in for him. We beat, TC Williams, big school. We did all right.
Oh, that was your time frame, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah,
1960s
you
and
were around for the
70s. Yeah.
integration.
I will say, I was always on the bright side of that fight. I just want to make sure I'm very clear about that. Me and Coach Boone were
You
like
weren't
this, bro. We were best friends.
you weren't Superman?
Sunshine, sunshine. Yeah, for sure. Dude, that's funny as hell.
I hope the people watching this get that reference.
They probably won't. They probably won't, for
Probably
sure.
not.
He keeps
Well,
playing with his
our
hair up to the
average
butter.
I think our average viewer's in their mid-30s, so they probably get it.
Oh, we might be all right. We might be. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
classic movie. If nothing else, I should go see it. Remember the Titans. If you've never seen it before, go check it
Yes.
out.
Definitely.
Great movie.
Well, I think we've got enough in us that we can start talking about the really goofy shit.
For sure.
Tell me your favorite conspiracy theory. All-time favorite, and then we'll do, like, more recent.
Man, this is a tough one because I get a lot of conspiracy theories. My guys, obviously, with the Rangers are like super
Oh, I bet.
conspiracy theory heavy, like just super. And these are guys who like are living on their own for the first time. Like a lot of the privates are like, 19 to 22 and have never lived on their own. So now all of a sudden they're like on their computer, freaking looking up everything they possibly or on their phone, whatever. Uh, excuse me. Birds being drones is definitely up there. I find that absolutely fascinating because there are obviously drones that look like birds that are
Oh,
around.
yeah.
But then you wonder like how many birds, like do they fly with a flock of other birds to make it look more real? Or like where are they at on that? You know what I mean? So
I
that
think
one's
that was
also
actually mentioned in one of our other episodes, and I brought up the fact that where do you see birds sit all the time? Power lines to
yeah,
charge.
brother.
That's how they charge.
Brother, solar power too, right? Throw a couple panels on the back so it just look like they're like in the
Yeah.
sun. Oh, bro. You know what I mean? Like that
Oh,
one's
yeah.
definitely up there. 9/11, just because like I remember like that happening. Like I remember watching that on the television as the second tower got hit. So that's got like and that was close to New York City. We're only a couple hours outside of there, so that like really hit home.
Did you see recently, speaking of that, a plane crashed into, like, the tallest, tower in, like, Beijing, and it put a little bitty hole in the building? It didn't melt and didn't fall down and all this
Oh
other stuff?
my! So you just
I
proven
don't know
that.
how big the plane was, but,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was,
that it's funny you said that. It just happened, like, last week.
it was actually a bird drone. That's the funny thing. It was just a massive, bird drone. Just a freaking golden eagle of a freaking like. Drone.
Yeah.
All right, you give me a couple real quick. So I'm throwing a couple
Well,
out there. You got what you
alright, so those are the ones that's come to mind. Like, what's one that you actually believe? Because that's one thing people get screwed up. They think I believe all these crazy conspiracies. I don't
Gotcha.
believe them all.
Yeah,
So
you're familiar.
those are just the yeah. So give me one that you actually have some kind of leaning towards believing it.
This is a little politically charged, obviously, but I do believe that there are outside interests that are controlling people at the highest levels. And I won't say who or what or whatever, but I do believe that there are other nations that are having an impact on decisions made in this country at a very high level. Like everybody knows about the super PACs and the money coming in. Like follow the money. It's not that hard, right? But
Oh,
like
yeah.
I do think there are some other nations who are having major impacts. And I don't think it's only the one that everybody immediately thinks about when I say that. I think there's one or two other ones that are also like even smoother about sliding their kind of fingers into the bowl, if you will.
I don't think it's actually nations. I think it's more uh, entities and organizations.
Oh, I agree. So I think the super PACs are a real thing for sure. But
Yeah.
there's no even argument there. It's not really a conspiracy theory. I'm saying like they're like political groups that are also able to do that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, from
No,
other
I agree with
other
that one.
places. So I don't know if that's really conspiracy theory, but that's something that immediately like came to mind with that just because of what I do and who I work with and stuff.
Most people would tell us that's conspiracy theory, but we believe that is facts.
I believe that to 100% be facts, and to see the actions
Yes.
and to see like how they react to things, like
Oh yeah,
that's not normal. That's not normal.
definitely.
All right, give me another one. You got to go. You got to give me something here. I'm feeling
Okay.
like
So
I'm feeling
ones
like
that I've heard recently, they're
no,
fun
no,
to
no, no,
think
no, no,
about.
no, no, no.
Oh,
What do you believe?
oh, okay. You want to go with that one first?
Yeah, I want to hear that
Down for
first,
that one.
please. Yeah, I want to hear
Okay.
this.
So going back to the earlier part of the episode where we talked about we don't feel like we are our age. We don't feel like we should be doing the things that we're doing at this age.
Sure.
I have this strong, like overwhelming mentality that I have not progressed past 23 years old. The funny thing is, I turned 23 in 2013. What happened at the end of 2012? Remember the Mayan calendar was supposed to be the end of the world?
No, I don't fucking remember the Mayan calendar.
You don't remember that was a huge
Brother, oh, hang on. Hold on. Let me check real quick. Let me check my other calendar. You're right.
Yeah.
I got it right here. My Mayan
Yeah.
calendar was on the other
They-
wall. That's my
Dude,
fault.
they had a
I'm sorry.
Shock Top beer had a Mayan doomsday beer come out because it was such a popular. The Mayan calendar ended in 2012,
Yeah.
and they said that the calendar stopped because that was going to be the end of time.
Sure.
And they, that was the whole thought process behind that.
Sure.
Well, nothing happened. We continued on. 2013
Apparently
came.
something happened. I don't believe that anymore.
Well, it's a long-winded conversation here.
I don't know. Please.
So
please.
if we look at fashion, for example, all right, you see somebody wearing 1950 clothing, you can think of that. You can picture that in your head.
Okay.
1960s, 1970s, 80s,
Yeah,
90s.
all my childhood, 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm with
Yep.
you.
That's right. 2000s, early 2000s, the 2010 kind of stops. Has anything changed since 2010 to you, or 2000-ish, 2000 teens?
I mean, my kids are alive, so I think that one.
I meant like
Oh, sorry.
as a like a worldwide, like we had bell bottoms in the 70s. Now everything is coming back. We're seeing bell bottoms again. We're seeing all the different. We're seeing polos with the small emblems come back that we
Yeah,
had in the
pop-
90s and the 2000s. Exactly. We're just seeing regurgitation of everything from the last 5 decades, 6 decades. We're not seeing anything new. So the theory is that we hit an end point in our timeline, and that we're now just kind of in a simulation, where nothing's progressing.
Yeah.
We're staying stagnant. We haven't had any major advances. The cell phone came out in like 2008, progressed up to like iPhone, and Samsung started really peaking at 2013. I mean, we see new changes here and there, but we haven't had a new major invention come out. I mean, AI is like our first thing outside of cell phones, TVs, all this stuff progressed so far, and then it's like stagnant. And I was like, that matches up with how I feel personally. I don't feel like anything's changed. I mean, the stuff around me has changed, but me personally, mentally, it's like I'm locked in a simulation, just living through it.
Damn.
But here's where it really gets
Yeah.
scary for me,
Okay.
because I ain't done. Have you ever heard of the lamp theory?
No, what's the lamp theory?
So there was a Reddit post that came out a long time ago. This guy lived his whole life all the way through his like 60s, 70s. And then he was sitting in his living room one day, and he looked over and he noticed a lamp there that wasn't there before. And it triggered something. He's like, why is that lamp there? We don't have that lamp. That lamp's not ours.
Oh,
And he
shit.
woke up out of a coma,
Oh, shit.
and he had lived like 40 years of his life in a coma. And he had all his memories from the life. And like, there's been other cases since then that's come out, and like, oh yeah, when I was in a coma, I lived for 10 years. I had a wife, I had kids. People are going through like emotional support programs or going through therapy to deal with the loss of family members that they never had.
Damn.
And now I'm like, what if this isn't a simulation? What if I'm in a coma right now? And that's why mentally I haven't progressed. And I've lived since 2013, the last 13 years, got married, had 2 kids. And it doesn't help that I have the perfect wife who literally I made a checklist in 2011 of like top 10 things that I would love to have in a spouse, and she checks it all.
That might be
Like-
why. That might be why we know we're gonna come. 1, look at you. You're not supposed to have a perfect wife. 2,
I know exactly.
there is nothing cool about you. You shouldn't have a perfect wife. 3, she is in fact pretty awesome. Totally respect where you're coming from. Dude, you're in a fucking coma. I am not real. I am actually
I hope to God I never wake
I'm a
up.
coma, what's that called? NPC or whatever, bro. I am
Yeah.
here. I am here for it.
I pray to God I never wake up and then.
That is a great answer. Your wife's gonna
To
watch
makes it even worse, I was in a car wreck when I was in like when I was 21, 22 years old. Around that time, and I was like, everything was kind of fuzzy around that memory, and I'm like, God Almighty, if I wake up from a coma and I'm back with that crazy ex,
Bro, I am now praying that I'm just an NPC in your fucking dreams, dude. That's
oh,
all I'm thinking about
oh.
for the rest of my life. Like I'm in it. Let's go.
So yeah, that's one that's like I'm genuinely a little concerned. Yeah, like I hope to God I don't wake up tomorrow and I'm back in 2011 or
I am
2012, whatever it is.
I am super impressed that you've thought about it that much. That's impressive.
Well, I
So
have
so
such
here's one
vivid
thing.
dreams, so it scares me.
Never mind. Leave that alone. I'm not big bad.
Yeah.
Have you okay, so you remember the Fruit of the Loom logo?
Cornucopia.
Yeah. It has a cornucopia.
Mhm.
Okay. Can you pull it up on your browser real quick?
Oh, I know it. I know. So, like, you talk about the Mandela effect. That one
Oh,
right
yeah.
there caused a lot of problems with me when it started coming out.
Why?
So, have you heard the one about Chick-fil-A?
No, let's open Chick-fil-A.
So,
They used to be open on Sundays?
Chick-fil-A. Well, no. It's never been open on Sundays, but it used to be like it's spelled Chick, Chickfila. I remember as a child asking my mom when they built the Chick-fil-A in Alabaster, because I remember them tearing down a huge community, building up the colonnade, putting in a Chick-fil-A. It was big to do because there was people that didn't want to sell their houses. So I have very vivid memories of this time period. And my dad had a business in the area.
Sure.
And they put in Chick-fil-A, and it was the very first one I ever saw. And I asked my mom, I said, why did they call it Chick-fil-A? Because it's CHIC. And she's like, I don't know, Chuck. That's just the way they wanted to spell it.
Yeah. Just stop talking.
And then,
Enjoy my sandwich.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I was probably 11, 12 years old enough to remember it. And I remember me and her having this conversation. I was like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would they call it Chick? Why would they call it Chick? And now it's spelt Chick. And everybody who's like me has memories of it being CHIC filet. And like the fact that I have that very vivid, distinct memory of that. And then there's a lot of other people who have memory of it. I'm like, okay, I believe in the Mandela effect.
So I am way too northern to have that memory specifically. But like the one that gets me are the Berenstain Bears, the Curious George, and the Fruit of the Loom. Like those get me because the Fruit of the Loom that I remember had a cornucopia on it, and that fucks me up every time. I'm like,
so that one actually got debunked. They Haynes was was it Fruit of the Loom was they were kind of gaslighting people on that one. Because people started pulling out old clothes and finding the cornucopia, and Fruit of the Looms were claiming they never had it. They were
but they had it, right?
people on that one. Yeah, they had it.
Okay,
that
was like,
they've had that.
Tell me I'm not crazy, please.
No, that one happened.
All right, what about Berenstain Bears?
Oh, 100% Berenstain.
Yeah.
I've never been to Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, absolutely not. Berenstain.
Yeah, you know what caused or what the original Mandela effect? Why it's called Mandela, right?
Yeah, they didn't believe they got out of jail or something like that.
No, he actually he was believed to have died in jail in the 90s. There was articles written about it. And then he comes back, and when
he was
he gets out of jail,
8 years or something, wasn't he? Or like the prime minister.
Exactly. He gets out of jail, and he was around. I don't think he died until like 2012, 2013 or something like that, around that time, But that was the beginning of the Mandela effect, because everybody was like, I remember the story, reading the article about him dying in jail.
Right. I don't remember anything about Mandela. I don't remember Chick-fil-A. I don't remember Mandela. Like I remember Mandela being a big deal, obviously, like growing up with that and hearing about him. But I do not remember that part. That's funny as hell. That's one of my biggest ones, though. Hey, last one on the Mandela effect. Looney Tunes or Looney Tunes like OO or Looney Tunes UNE?
OO. So I know it's supposedly TUNES, but it doesn't make sense as a cartoon.
A cartoon, yeah, for sure. No, I see where you're coming from.
They were like, but the Fruit of the Loom. Or not Fruit of the Loom, Fruit Loops.
Oh.
How do you spell Fruit Loop? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It went one and then came back. It
You're
came
lying.
back
How would
recent.
you remove an
No,
O from Fruit Loop? Fruit Lop? Fruit Lop?
they made it UIT Fruit Loop,
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were talking
and
about
then
loop
they
part.
changed. No, I remember it Fruit FROOT Loop.
I thought you were saying they took an O out of loop. I was like, Chuck,
No,
that's lops, buddy. It's Fruit Lops. I
front
don't
lop,
want
front
Fruit
lop.
Lops. I want Fruit Loops. Yeah, that was
Yeah. But yeah, that was another one, Fruit Loops.
nice. No, I didn't even think about that one.
Oh, the Monopoly Man, does he have the monocle or not?
So I remember having that on like Nintendo or Sega or something like that. And he did not have a monocle on that. Did he have a monocle?
No, he didn't. But every depiction of him in pop culture, he has a monocle. Like every time somebody references it, they reference it with the monocle. Even Ace Ventura, he even calls the guy
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't
Mr.
know.
Monopoly Man. Yeah.
He knocks him out, puts him on the shoulder.
Exactly.
Oh man. That is freaking I never even thought about that one. I
Yeah.
freaking love Monopoly though. I play Monopoly all freaking day.
I would love to. My wife, she's like, I'm not playing that. It takes too long.
Yeah, we're not playing for 6 hours. Did you ever play Risk when you were a kid? Another one of my favorites.
No, I never did. My
Yeah.
family wasn't big on board games, unfortunately,
I'm sorry to hear
which is
that.
why I love playing them now.
I can see you being a Catan guy. I can see you being like a Ticket to Ride kind of guy.
No, I like the word type like taboo, and
Scrabble.
there's one called Code Names, and I love that.
Ooh. Is that the one where you like you get like a secret identity or whatever?
No, you lay out a bunch of cards and you kind of like it's almost like charades, but
Okay.
it's a mix between like charades and taboo,
Nice.
and you're trying to get your teammate to pick certain words that are laid out based off of code words that you give them.
All right.
We'll
I
have
can
to
mess
play
with that.
sometime.
Yeah, I was about to say I can mess with that. I have a good time with that.
Yeah.
All right. Any other
Well, man,
conspiracy theories? Like what's your other thought on that? Anything else you got?
one that's recently been kind of popping up a lot is the moon being a base instead of just a piece of rock floating around, because it's the density in it doesn't make sense. Like mathematically, the density doesn't make sense, and they said it would be more consistent of a hollow station, and that's why it doesn't turn and it's tidal locked with us.
All right. All right.
It's a moon base. Yeah,
It's a moon base. I think Dr. Evil had that on Austin Powers actually. He
exactly,
was up there. Yeah,
exactly.
dude, that's wild. So some people think we can't even land there, and other people think we have an entire base up there.
I don't know. Personally, I kind of feel like we've never been to the moon,
Okay.
and it's a base for some other people.
Ooh,
Yeah,
people.
yeah, like
Okay. All
old
right.
civilizations that pre, destruct. I don't know. I
Damn.
throwing
The
out
ones who
stuff.
built the pyramids and shit. Like, is that what we're doing? We're
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
aliens. Dude, aliens has to be the ultimate conspiracy. I mean, however you want to split it, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, the one that I've seen lately that really got me for like probably a solid day or two. All the places in South America where they do the rainforest, and they're like, clearly that was a civilization for like thousands of years, and they have like roads,
Mhm,
they have all this stuff. And as soon as you raise up with whatever the technology is called, I apologize, I'm going to butcher it, but basically drones, right, for use of
mhm,
crappy term, where they can go out there and they can like figure out exactly what the topography looked like and how the cities were grown, etc. And it's just like,
mhm.
why did it all overgrow for hundreds of years? Like, why did nobody live there? And like, they look like Machu Picchu. Like, why didn't they keep coming south? Like, bro, that's nuts. Like, whatever happened has got to be freaking. I don't
There's
know.
a lot of routes you could take with that kind of stuff. There is another thing that this is something that I've kind of pieced together on my own because I'm a pretty religious person.
Sure,
I'm Christian. I love hearing stories about the Bible,
sure.
but I'm also kind of a buff when it comes to Greek mythology, Roman mythology. I like hearing the stories about Zeus and
Yeah, Neptune.
Odin and Poseidon.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I was like, how do we have this many religions and this many gods and this many different things? And I was like, in the Bible, it talks about the uh, angels that were, kicked out. That, well, what if, obviously, Lucifer, Hades,
yeah.
what if, another one went on to be a demigod? And, the stories of Zeus and all these different gods mating with the women to create demigods. What if that's just Nephilim? So
Ooh,
all the fallen angels came to Earth pretending to be gods,
yeah.
created their own little subsets, and that's why they ruled their areas and mated with the women, created Nephilims, aka demigods, Hercules and Achilles and all those people. And
Yeah.
that's how I'm like, I justify other religions with mine.
That sounds very human of you for sure. Yeah, I respect that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you look at it though, and like the number of religions that have the similar like uh timeline impacts, like the Great Flood, right?
Mhm.
That's like everybody had a Great Flood. It's like the great death of one major person, whether that's freaking Muhammad the Prophet who came before, or it's
Mm,
Jesus, or it's whoever. Like everybody had that. So there's got to be some sort of like I don't know commonality amongst them, and like what
mhm.
could possibly travel that far across the entire world. Like there was nobody traveling that far at that time that could spread that kind of information. So
Well,
I
you
don't
ever
know.
heard the theory that and we're about to get on to the religious theories. You ever hear about the one that America is kind of like the original storybook, like where everything in the Bible from the Old Testament originated from, and that the Middle East isn't where all this stuff happened. It actually happened in America
Oh shit.
because if you look at what the ark was built out of,
Yeah,
gopher wood. There's only one place you can find gopher wood.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
where it's at?
Probably America.
Florida.
You're lying.
That, like,
Did
and
not know
according to what I've seen, I hadn't done personal research into it, but I've seen it multiple times from other people,
that.
and they're like, "Yeah, the only place you can find gopher wood is like that Georgia, Florida area,
Sure.
south." And they were like, "Wouldn't make sense for Noah to get lifted up and then put back down and around the same spot. It would make more sense if he got lifted up, floated for 40 days. Where would he end up? 40 days from America on ship, probably
Yeah,
going to be somewhere in the Middle East. That's where they
yeah.
have found remnants of a ship shape in the desert out there
Wow.
somewhere.
God,
So
I have never heard that before. That is the most like xenophobic, crazy shit I've heard in a long time. And I hope that it's just a depiction of Moses with two guns, just like on the top of the freaking ark, just like ga, 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 as he's coming in. You know what I mean? Like making no sense at all. He's actually got a red, white, and blue freaking robe on. You know what I mean? Like that's my
uh,
Bible. That's what I want to see for sure.
no, there's so many different ways you could look at stuff from the Bible and twist it to
For
fit whatever
sure.
you want it to say, and
Bro,
it's just it's
all,
interesting.
all I'm seeing is like an ancient newspaper being like, Florida man found in Middle East. Brings two of every animal with him. Oh, shit.
He had to of everything until the gator got a hold of a lot of it.
It's the only thing he left back. It's the only thing that stayed in Florida. For sure. Yeah, that's funny as hell.
Oh, well,
Oh,
man, I
man.
appreciate you jumping on here and doing this with me. We'll have to do it
Oh,
again.
dude, always a pleasure, man. I love having a conversation on your channels anytime I can, brother. Any other thoughts about mental toughness before we shut it down? I know we're in conspiracy theory mode, sorry, but like,
No, you're good. Um, you know, the thing that's really stuck with me the most is it's kind of why we have the shirt. Nobody really cares. You just got to push through it. And the shirt says nobody cares, train harder. Um, you can find people to latch onto you, but until you take care of yourself personally, it's hard to really move on from things. That's one thing I had to learn the hard way. I tried to lean on people more than they were willing to help. And, I had to fix myself before I relied on other people. Um, Something I'm dealing with right now personally too. I've got, not to get too emotional, but I've got some troubled relationships with different people in my family. Not on speaking terms with some people who I thought were a lot closer to me. And the issue was just lack of communication. Somebody didn't, they felt like I should have done something specific without talking to me about it. Um, it, I'm on a tangent right now. I'm a little tipsy,
no,
but
you're good. You're good.
you know, all that being said, if you feel like you've got issues that somebody else is causing, don't bundle it up. Don't hold it in. You know, have a conversation with that person. A lot of times, all it takes is just a few words to clear the air with things. Um, and you can let go of a lot of trauma and a lot of mental anguish if you just talk to the person. What about you? Any final words on mental toughness? I'm probably gonna clip all mine out because mine was
No,
just
I hope
rambling, but
I hope you don't. That was actually really good. That was actually something people could actually learn from. That was solid. Um, my 2 things on mental toughness. I've had I've had multiple I've had double-digit suicides, not just from Ranger, but from, like, just friends and everything like that, right? Like, dozens of dudes, specifically dudes, a couple females as well, but almost always dudes who have, like, decided they want to get off this ride, right? And a lot of times when you look at that dude, you see, like, good looking dude, like, hardworking, takes care of his stuff. Like, it's never the dude who, like, you would expect. It's never the dude that you're like, yeah, I can understand why that guy did it. It's always the guy you're like, why him? Like, he's got stuff together, he's got stuff figured out. So it's not worth it though, man. Like, we talk about that all the time. Like, life is for the living, and like, we're gonna obviously celebrate those that we lose, but like, you gotta do what you can for you. And as somebody who's been through some rough patches where I think about stuff like that for sure, I can just say that it's never the right answer. Um, there's always more better things coming your way, or there are good things coming your way. I can't say better. There are good things coming your way. I'll also say that like that stigma that dudes shouldn't go to therapy. Like, I fought till I was in my 40s to go to therapy. I was like, nah, I don't need it. Nah, I don't need it. Nah, I don't need it. Finally, I was like, you know what? It's probably about that time. And I will say, like, even in my first like few sessions, like, it made a big difference.
oh yeah.
And like, just the ability to like unload to somebody who like genuinely has tools to help you fix yourself is a crazy experience for sure, and definitely helps me a ton for sure. And then finally, my other last thought would just be like, the dudes or people, I just keep saying dudes, the people in your life, right? Male, female, doesn't matter, who often look the most successful or look like they have everything figured out are typically ducks on a pond. Like, they look great on top, and all you see is them scooting across the water nice and smooth. You do not see that struggle that is going on underneath that water. You do not see what is coming up to pull them down. You do not see what they are kicking away from them as hard as they possibly can. All you see is that smooth ripple effect and that duck just looking good as hell, right? But every really successful person that I talk to, um, they usually have something going on under that water that you're not aware of. Like, no matter how good it is, no matter how, how big the house, how cool the car, how sick the freaking outside appearance, it is always something underneath there. So don't compare yourself to that person and think that you're like behind them. Like, oftentimes that person has fucked up for sure and has no idea. And as somebody who gets called a duck quite a bit, like, I can tell you that there's a lot of freaking kicking going on underneath that water for sure. I'm trying to figure myself out and my stuff and make sure my family has what they need. And yeah, that mental toughness to wake up every day and go try to fight for that and get that is not easy. And there's always them little duck meat rolling.
You know, I probably am going to cut mine because that was so good. Uh,
Dude, no, absolutely not. If you fucking cut
but
yours, I will cut. Nope, too soon. Too soon. Too
no,
soon.
no.
Too soon.
But
Too soon. Cut that.
I do want to say something about what you just said, and I find myself, and because you talked about the duck on the pond, calm, collected on top, kicking away at the bottom. I find myself sometimes oversharing to the point because I'm not trying to make you feel bad or make you like feel sorry for me. I learned a long time ago hiding what you're going through is depriving some other person sometimes of finding a uh I forget I'm not blanking on the word. Just kind of the commiseration thing.
Yeah, commiseration. Yeah.
Hey, I think this person's got it all together, but really he's struggling with the same thing I'm struggling with. Maybe I can talk to him about it. I do that on purpose. And my wife gets on to me all the time. She's like, you share too much. I'm like, well, sometimes people need to know that they ain't the only one going through crap.
No,
You
I
know, they're-
I I definitely go the other way. So I respect the shit out of the fact that you're like on like honestly the first like I don't know, maybe the first like 10 or 15 conversations we had together, I was like, yo, Chuck wears it on his sleeve, bro. Like, he just kind of lets it
uh,
pop. Because like I remember we had a conversation and it was after something stupid like a strongman. I think it was Alabama's maybe or Georgia's. I think it's MC'd something and you and I were just doing what we do, right? What we've always done since the day we met, like just bullshit with each other. And you're like, yeah, man, like I went through, and it was something terrible. It was like somebody's had cancer, or somebody just passed away, or somebody just committed suicide. And I was like, all right, like I'm happy to have that conversation, but I wasn't expecting it. And like,
I think it was
that,
right after my brother, was shot. Yeah. So,
yeah, that
no,
was the one.
you know, I quit hiding my feelings a long time ago, which for 2 reasons. One, because sometimes other people need to hear that they're not alone, but also because if you hold it in too much, sometimes it's gonna explode where you don't want it to.
You
And,
know, you want to hear on that.
I've between family issues, relationship issues, friends, there's it's gonna come out somewhere. And if you hold it in for too long, it's where that gasket can come out. The worst place it could be is on your kids or your wife or someone that you care about. You let it out. Um, no, that's kind of why we started this show. My old co-host, he went through a life change and he kind of had some other things that take priority. Completely understand. But, we started the show as a kind of a way to show, you know, mental toughness is important. You've got to work on it. It's just like any other muscle. It's not going to improve if you don't put in the effort.
Yeah, I
Um,
think.
having,
Go ahead.
just having somebody to talk to. And when he had to move on and stuff, and this show kind of faltered for a little while, I'll be honest, I struggled personally because I was using him as my therapist. He is a therapist. I was using him as my therapist during the show, and I hope he got as much out of it as I did during the time we were doing it. And now I'm trying to rebuild it into a new format where I can tell your story, and then we can still work on this kind of stuff together.
Yeah. Starting a podcast to get free therapy might be the most baller thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm just gonna throw that.
Yeah, I paid him in whiskey, so
I don't think that makes it better, Chuck. I think that actually makes it
I
worse.
don't think so either. Yeah,
As
let's
long as
make it
we're
we
honest.
open up. Yeah,
um, no, you brought up a really good point. Like you are the overshare, not overshare, but you are
no,
a much bigger share than I am for sure. Um, and there is a skill and a important thing that you do there by doing that because I'll be honest with you, man. Like I'm that guy who can like cut up with anyone. Like you see me enough to know, like I don't care your socioeconomic background. I don't care your gender. I don't care your religion, sex, sexual preference. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like I can carry on a conversation with you unless you're a total piece of shit. Like
no.
I can do all that, but I can also keep it as freaking superficial as needed for the conversation. And I feel like maybe doing that for as long as I have and becoming that person who can bob and weave their way through life because of that, because I'm able to create those quick relationships and create that immediate bond with somebody, like maybe that's doing me a disservice because then I don't know who's actually there for me versus who's actually there for other reasons or other values, something that's good for them as opposed to like actually having my best interest in mind. So maybe you're kind of subconsciously weeding out the asshole, if you will, and weeding out the bad people that I don't weed out. And then I think to myself, like, yeah, that person is in it for me. And then you find out 4, 6, 8 months later, like, nah, they're just a piece of shit, bro. And thankfully I've gotten good about reading people, but like, man, when I was younger, like I was so good at like creating again that immediate connection and that like, where you from? Oh, dude, I lived there too. I've lived everywhere now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And all of a sudden you realize like, oh man, that is not the guy to be a training partner with. That is not the guy to go into business with. That is not the guy to hang out with. But being able to do that, but like your approach of like opening yourself up to find somebody with a similar, empath at that point or empathy with something you're going through is honestly really important and some dudes don't do a whole lot, like myself included. Like, well, keep that up, dude. Like I think that's something that's really
For
important.
sure.
Something that led to us having some way deeper conversations than I thought we would when we first met. So I certainly appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. And we can edit this part out if you don't want to talk about anything. But something I've been wanting to talk to you when we were on the phone or when we're in person face to face or something. You sent me a message. I don't know
Is it about
who
me?
it was.
Is it about me wanting to kiss you?
A little bit, yeah. Uh, no, but you asked me if I was doing okay,
Yeah.
and like it was out of the blue, and you were like, "Are you good? Everything good with you?" And all I could think is something's wrong. And I want you to know, like, if you ever need to talk about anything, yeah, I'm here for you. You sent me that message, and I had a gut feeling that you needed to talk about something, but you weren't ready to talk about. I don't know if that was true or not, but that's just the feeling that I got. I hope everything's good with you. I hope you mentioned that you're going through some therapy, and I hope you're getting whatever you need out of it. Uh, but I'm always a open ear if you need anything.
No, I appreciate that, man. Right back at you. Yeah, yeah. Little column A, little column B. There's definitely some stuff going on my side for sure. Um, but man, like I think I remember the date on that correctly. I remember that message correctly. Like I just lost another dude at that time, and I was like, I haven't talked to Chuck in a while, and that's weird because obviously we talk pretty frequently every week or two, couple, whatever, a few weeks we'll say just for easy math.
Yeah.
And like I hadn't heard from you, and I was like, and I think you had just canceled some of your shows recently, like
Oh
within
yeah.
the past few months. Before that, and I was like, you know who I haven't checked? Like that's one thing I do. Like I kind of pride myself on is like if I'm not doing well, I'm still gonna be there for everybody else. You know what I mean? And you know what? That's another mental toughness thing that dudes, I think personally, high quality dudes do. Right? Like they put others. You kind of talked about earlier. Like yeah, you have to take care of yourself, bro. I've never done that. Like going to therapy, I was like, yeah, I'm making sure my family's good. She's like, okay, that's great. What about you? And I was like, I don't, I don't think you heard me. I'm making sure my
Yeah.
family is good. They have money. They have a roof. They have
Mhm.
school paid for. They have, whatever else they need. She's like, cool, got it. What about you? And I was like, no, 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 no. You don't understand.
Yeah.
And like legitimately, like I went through it, and it sounds stupid, right? As I sit here and listen to it out loud, but I was like, legitimately,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's the whole life preserved. I mean, you're in an airplane, the mask falls. You're supposed to put yours on first. You can't
yeah,
help
ain't
anybody
gonna,
else
ain't
if
gonna
you're
happen.
drowning.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm grabbing that little
and
girl's
it's
head,
tough.
and I am
I
shoving
know.
that
I'm the
mask
same
on.
way.
Dude, I will make sure the little old lady on the other side of me probably gets her mask on before I finally, like,
Well, I
uh,
mean, but the premise behind that is like, if you are going down and you lose consciousness, then you can't help anybody.
"Hey, bro,
If
don't
you,
don't be bringing up in intelligent shit like that, okay? Let me just
I
have no
just
dumb
hey,
shit and just think that I'm right."
listen, this has got to be some kind of sentimental ending to the show, okay? So it's so big roundabout way of saying, you can put on a mask all you want, but if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't help others. And I mean, I know therapists, I know multiple therapists who need to hear that, and they're preaching it to other people, but they're not doing it for themselves. So I
Mhm.
mean, if a therapist who's gone to all that education and gone to all that training hasn't figured it out yet, what hope we got as normal guys? And, you said you reached out to your friends every now and then. I saw a comedian today. I kid you not. I saw it this morning. I woke up. He's like, the scariest text you can get is a sweet text from a friend, a guy friend, because then you know something's wrong. It's like, hey, man, I really appreciate you. Don't do it. I'm on my way. And he's like, well, where were you the last week when I was trying to move couch? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
pay
no,
attention to that kind of stuff.
you're incredibly accurate on that one, like, I sent out a couple, like, nice messages, like, when I won that big award and got inducted or whatever last week, I was like, "I just wanna say thanks, man, I really appreciate you, like, I'm getting inducted, blah, 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 blah." And every single one of them was like, "You motherfucker, you weren't gonna tell me?" Like, I told them, like, the night before so they can make sure they won't make a big deal out of it, and they're like, "Fuck you," this and that, like, "Oh, you're fucking dying," I was like, "Alright, cool, 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 cool," but
Uh, well, one last thing I do want to mention before we let you go. You talked about double digit losses
yeah.
recently. What's the statistic right now? It's like 22 a day in the
Yeah, it's
military.
yeah, and obviously there's some skewed numbers depending upon who you ask, but yeah, somewhere in that ballpark for sure.
So our benefit comp this year, the only reason we didn't go with Nick was because we had already committed to another charity. But we, and forgive me if I say it wrong, but I will put the link down in the description. But I think it's Veteran Strongman or something like that. Strongman Veterans.
Yeah, I literally just had a phone
It's
call with Gabby and their, founder, I think Mike, right?
yeah.
Yeah, just
So
had a just had a phone call with them maybe a few months ago, or sorry, less than that, probably like a month ago. Yeah, fantastic organization. Nick Stock, I could care less about your cancer. It's all about the veterans.
Look, if I'd have known that he had cancer beforehand, I would have gone with him because we like helping individuals first, but
Yeah.
can't go back on a commitment. Uh, but they are doing some great things with mental health. If you're a veteran and you're needing some kind of assistance, what they do is you don't even have to be a strong man, but if you're interested, they try to bring you into the sport because the community is really strong. They give you free coaching, from my understanding, if you're a veteran.
They're working on that.
Yeah, so I mean, you can get into the sport and build a community and find help that you need. So if you are feeling like you are lost or you need somewhere to go, check them out. I'm gonna put the link down in the description below.
Yeah, great organization. They have a lot of really good plans coming up. Could not speak more highly of Gabby. Obviously, I think we both agree on that. She's just a fantastic person to spread the sport, and obviously a fantastic soldier during her time there, and Warrior Fitness team and all that good stuff. So yeah, it'd be a great organization.
Yeah. Well, man, again, thank you for your time. I would like to do this again. Maybe we can be a little more organized. Good Lord, this whiskey is scotch, whatever this is getting me.
Scotch, yeah.
Yeah, Scotch whiskey is what it is.
No longer a
Thanks,
duck in a
Eric.
pond. Your paddles started coming out. You're just
I'm-
everywhere now. But you're fish,
I'm
you're fish
upside
on the
down.
bank. Fish on the bank.
I'm upside down, paddles flipping in the air. I'm just going to circle.
You're one like a duck now, just circles.
That's right.
For sure.
Well, hopefully y'all enjoy this episode. If you want to see more, if you want us to hit up anybody else, tag them in the comment section or, shoot me a message. I'd like to continue this. Hopefully we can get another episode in soon. Wish we'd have got this one in a little bit earlier because, June was Men's Mental Health Month, but mental health is always important. I don't care. Even if Mitchell Hooper is kind of weird, he does have good sentiment with that stuff. So
Sure.
I don't agree with everything he does, but at least he does push good mental health. Well, cheers, man, and congratulations on your induction.
Appreciate you, brother, man.
Even
Excited to
if you
see you
didn't
this
want us
weekend
there
for
to share.
GSM.
Do what?
I'm so excited to see you this weekend for GSM. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wake up, today's gonna be